Hey, Erica Morel. We're here at the Hangout spot, which is my healthy cafe. We've been open for 2 years now. What inspired me to open up the Hangout spot was the fact that I had a walking club and I had already built this awesome community in Cyprus where people would come together and walk and be healthy and active. And I was already doing my Herbalife business where I was promoting my products online. And I said to myself, why not create a hub where people can come together, where we can talk about health, we can talk about nutrition. And because I'm so passionate about entrepreneurship and business, we turned it into a place where we have a book club or we have networking events or where women come to get inspired and get empowered and get information. And I would say, like, you asked me about the beginning days. Having an online business is great, it's phenomenal. Having a brick and mortar is another monster. It was a lot harder than what I expected it to be, but the rewards were definitely worth it. The biggest challenge I faced was profits. Not creating an actual budget. I just kind of out of excitement, out of inspiration, out of oh my God, I want to do this and this is going to be great and it's going to be such a great idea. And you need those things. You need vision and you need belief, but you also need to sit down and do those numbers, And the very first year, it was very hard. We were not making enough to cover the bills. We were coming out of pocket and that was very difficult. But I was already advised to sit down and do a budget, and I chose not to do it because I chose to be we can live off love type of thing. So don't do that. Yeah. This was September of 2025. When I opened up the Hangout spot, I opened it up with 4 business owners. So we have 4 people here. We were splitting time. We were splitting expenses. We were splitting all these things. When it came time to renew our lease, my business partners decided that they were going to move on to something else. And I had to come to the decision, am I going to stay here by myself or am I going to quit or am I going to give up? It was the hardest moment and the hardest decision. And I would say to myself, well, I had a successful online business. I don't really need the Hangout spot. But there was something in my heart and soul that was telling me nah, you have not finished. This is not done. But it was scary. It was scary. And I'm I cannot do this because as a single mom who's taking care of kids, where I go from paying college tuition to paying daycare, it's this is another expense. I can't afford to come out of my pocket every single moment. But then I sat down and I had a conversation with myself and I said, you shouldn't be coming out of pocket. You should be working harder. So just get into action. And that's what I did.
You should be working harder. Mm-hmm. Let's touch on that because I think that's something that is different about you. How is it that you're able to work harder? What is it that makes you work harder?
Well, I think a few things play into part, but if we remove upbringing, background, and I would just have to pinpoint it to desire. My desire to be great is higher than my desire to stay the same. And I'm very competitive and I compete and I don't compete with other people. I compete with myself. So winning is my favorite word. Winning. So I always chase that next win, that next win, that next win, that next win. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you something, Nicole, I won't be honest with you, when you're an entrepreneur, you go without recognition, without pay for so long. But when you get paid and when you get recognized, it expands. And I'll give you a perfect example. 10 years ago, when I started this business, I didn't think about college. I did not go to college. I didn't think about college for my kids. I just honestly didn't. Plus, anybody and anyone in my family that's ever went to college paid for it themselves. So I never imagined this moment. But I would tell you that my kids are a big motivation of why I work hard because I wanted them to have a better life and I wanted them to have a better opportunity. And when my daughter came to me a few weeks ago and said, Mom, I want to study a semester abroad. She wants to go to London and Paris to spend the fall and do the New Year's there. I said to myself, this is why I took entrepreneurship 10 years ago. This is why I got paid so little for 5 years. This is why I had the early mornings and I had the late nights and I had the tears and I had the moment where I felt like I wanted to give up. The reason why I work as hard as I work is because nothing was handed to me. I had to work hard for everything that I got. And that feeling that you get when you get what you work so hard for, and then you start proving people that doubted you wrong, I think it's kind of like my highest payment. I'm not gonna lie. I believe that entrepreneurship is like you're really going on a spiritual journey. You have to become a different version of yourself. Throughout our whole lives, we've been programmed to be employees. You go to school, they program you to be employees. Your parents tell you, go to school, get good grades, get a good job, get married, have children. But like own a business and deal with the discomfort, it's changed me in so much ways. It's changed me, and I felt like I became a better daughter. I became a better mother. I became a better person. I became more compassionate. It's so much more than the money that you make or the business plan, because it is the hardest thing, aside from giving birth, the hardest thing as a woman that you're gonna go through. Because what are most women afraid of? Rejection. Baby, you need to get comfortable with rejection here, you know? And coming from a child who didn't grow up with her dad and her dad wasn't in her life, rejection was something that I really struggled with. And that's something that you have to get very comfortable with. Learning does not end in school. It does not end in school. You constantly have to be better. We have AI now, the learning AI. We have social media now, learning social media and marketing and all these things. So it's like, it's a never ending journey of becoming the better version of yourself. I had a conversation with my daughter the other day and I asked her, did it bother you that I was away so much? Because I worked really hard and I put in a lot of hours and I was away from my kids a lot. And she looked at me and she said, absolutely not. You show me what a woman that goes after her dream looks like. So the girl who lived in New York City projects, that lived in the hood, that lived in housing, that had EBT, the way that I was able to change my kid's life, she looked at that and she said, no, your sacrifice was worth it.